What's up everyone, it's Scotty with MoneyVest. So this is going to be a full technical analysis on the Magnificent 7 and big tech companies, as well as some of the other ones like Enphase, Costco, that we cover on our regular market updates. Just to give you an idea on where I find very critical support resistance levels, areas of demand and supply, so that you can better trade or find tradable opportunities within those companies, or even dollar cost average opportunities in those stocks. As always, if you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And the links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. We do have a 16% annual discount available until the end of this month. You get access to over 50 plus members only private videos, including my entire 30 stock shopping list and my buy targets, as well as our MoneyVest index, which has a very high win rate of over 90%, helping us better understand where the risk rewards are best in the market, and also to help us with our decision making in the markets as well. When volatility is lower, of course, there's a lot of other parameters that we look at to create that MoneyVest index. Also get access to our Discord channels, including all the trade alerts, trade ideas, options alerts, and all of our individual courses are currently 50% off. Coupon code May50 expires at the end of this month. So let's start with Apple, and I'm also going to be sharing what my personal sort of actionable idea is on each company as I kind of walk through them. So number one, Apple, very nice strong recovery from lows of 164 to back to highs of 190, so about a 16% gain for Apple stock here. Now, I will suggest that this is a company that we again have talked about extensively on the channel. Trades at a little bit of a premium valuation. We know that Warren Buffett has been offloading some of Apple shares in the first quarter of 24 and last quarter of 23. So Apple is a stock that I'm not interested in at the moment at these prices at 193, 194, 195. I feel like it's a little bit more on the expensive side. I'll be looking at de-risking and actually even selling my position here at these highs, because it's got a double top, triple top resistance for Apple at these levels, and the RSI MACD, as you can see, that it's already approached that overbought levels once again. But just because it's overbought does not mean that it can't go higher, right? So it can certainly go up to $199, $200 back to all-time highs. And again, we do have the L3 banker oscillator also pushing higher. I did point out to this idea of a lot of accumulation for Apple, right? So there was a lot of accumulation in the L3 banker oscillator before rallying higher, and of course breaking out to basically almost all-time highs here and becoming overbought as well. Something to keep in mind, of course, a lot of consolidation sideways, and we got that next target and resistance almost at $200 for Apple. Talking about Amazon, now Amazon is another stock that I'm super bullish and optimistic on long term, because I do believe that Amazon is actually one of those companies that has the highest growth potential among all big tech or Magnificent 7 companies. Again, we're seeing a lot of consolidation, so it's starting to roll over after hitting that double top resistance. And of course, we've got that higher low over here, so that's going to be that ascending support and that horizontal support over here for Amazon. So resistance and target's going to stay put at 188, with a very strong support to keep in mind is going to stay put right over here for Amazon at 171 to 173. This is kind of aligned with this higher low as well as that horizontal support as well. Talking about Tesla, on the other hand, coming back up to its 177 resistance. So this right here is going to be that level to watch. After the approval from Beijing for its driver assistance program, we've seen a little bit of a pullback after the gap up. It's already down 14%. It's now consolidating sideways. Again, very neutral RSI, very neutral MACD, L3 banker oscillator, also seeing some liquidation here for Tesla. Very strong support in the 150s, kind of aligned and inside this green rectangle, as we've already discussed, and a huge wall of supply and resistance at $200. We really don't have much to do here, considering that Tesla is trading right in the middle of that range in the 170s at the moment. Talking about Nvidia now, and Nvidia on the day is starting to pull back almost 2%, so support level is going to stay roughly at $909. So this right here is going to be that level to watch, with a resistance all the way up to 973 for Nvidia, and again, a much stronger support down at 847. Nvidia is reporting earnings next week, so we'll take a look at those earnings and what Nvidia has to offer, and whether it's going to be breaking out to beyond $1,000 or not. I've already mentioned that I think selling calls is actually a very lucrative opportunity for Nvidia, because I do think that it's had a lot of potential. Premiums are very high for Nvidia, and like I said, support level is going to stay put down at 909 down to as low as 847 to as much as $741 per share for Nvidia. Advanced Micro Devices, on the other hand, very nice move back up, but starting to pull back here. Intraday, red candle, but of course higher on the day, up over 1%. So this right here is actually going to be that support to watch for AMD, with the next resistance and targets up to 183 for AMD, and a very strong support here inside this green rectangle sitting roughly at around 150 to as low as 145. So 145, 150, very, very important level to watch for advanced micro devices. And of course, resistance all the way up to 183, as I've already mentioned, and support level is going to stay put at 164. RSI, MACD, and the L3 banker oscillator does all look pretty solid for more potential upside. So there is a possibility that AMD maybe rallies back up to 183, 184 on the back of Nvidia earnings. Again, we'll find out next week. That's about 11 to 12% potential upside here for advanced micro devices, and L3 banker oscillator as well as RSI, MACD, like I said, have more potential to the upside. Talking about PayPal, and PayPal here consolidating sideways very much. So RSI, MACD, and the L3 oscillator, all of them coming down, and PayPal is just validating this higher low, that ascending support here inside this uptrending channel of higher highs and higher lows, like I said, and resistance all the way up to $68, $69. So inside this red rectangle is going to be the one to watch very, very closely for PayPal. And again, a very nice higher low support, validating that level very closely. And like I said, that resistance is going to stay put here. Next one on the list is going to be Visa. So if you come over to Visa here, so we're seeing a little bit of that momentum back higher. Of course, we did see Visa, of course, recover from its lows of about 265. So this right here was a rally back up to $280. That was a jump of over 5%. Resistance close to 282. Support level is going to stay put at 265 for Visa. So a lot of consolidation sideways. And right now, of course, we're coming up to that resistance and a support level sitting roughly at 265. We're seeing a very nice recovery from the RSI, the MACD, and the L3 banker oscillator. But the bottom line is that we are, of course, a little bit more on the overbought side. So it's got to be super careful. And Visa, from a valuation perspective, also very, very expensive. Nvidia, I'm not interested at these prices. AMD, not interested at these prices, but most likely we'll be looking to sell puts if it does end up in the low 100s. Visa, not interested at these prices, more likely in the 250s, would be interested. And Tesla, as you already know, in the 150s is where I'd be looking at selling puts once again. Now moving over to Meta Platforms, and Meta Platforms here also on the day consolidating sideways. So down about 28, 29 basis points, not really moving all that much, but really inside this area of rectangle here, so area of demand, so that support level, green rectangle, very, very strong area of support, and resistance and supply, and target's going to be back up to 525, 527 for Meta Platforms. Coming over to Netflix, and Netflix here also consolidating sideways very much here. So after the huge breakout from its lows of about 536 and then breaking out over $600, we're seeing Netflix really just consolidate sideways. Resistance is going to stay put at 637 right now. Meta, I'm not interested at these prices either. So there's very few companies that I'd be interested at these levels. I mean, Tesla is perhaps the only one that I'd be looking at these prices. PayPal maybe another one. AMD at lower prices, meaning selling puts, you know, down in the 120s and 130s. And then of course not a whole lot of stocks. Maybe even Amazon because of the higher growth potential that it carries. But Netflix support level is going to stay put down at around 595, down to as low as 536, and resistance is going to stay put at 634 for Netflix. Talking about Google and finally Microsoft, we got a couple more stocks left. So Google here pushing out to new all-time highs. So very strong momentum, market cap now sitting at well over 2.1, almost $2.2 trillion. So there's not really much for us to go over other than the fact that it is overbought and of course extremely bullish at the moment. So the trend is in its favor to the upside. Of course, we did see a little bit of a pullback after the earnings, consolidated sideways, and a huge breakout back higher. And from 165, it is now up another 7.5, close to 8%. A lot of liquidity flooding back into Google. And again, it's got very strong potential. Among the comm services, it's one of the more undervalued stocks, in my opinion. Not really undervalued, but more reasonably priced, is what I should say, for communication services. Microsoft, on the other hand, just a lot of consolidation for Microsoft as well. RSI, MACD, very neutral, although it has pushed higher from its support levels around 387. So we did see a very nice 8.7, almost 9% rally here, validating that support, and resistance is going to stay put at $430 for Microsoft, and just a lot of consolidation sideways is what we are seeing for the company. And last but not least, we got Enphase and then just Costco. Enphase here at the moment just down about 2%. A lot of consolidation sitting inside this lower high and lower low pattern. I've already done an extensive analysis on Enphase in the past, and this right here, of course, is going to be that lower high with a very strong support sitting at 108. And then finally, we come over to Costco. And Costco here, of course, breaking out to new all-time highs, very similar to Google, but it is also very, very overbought with the RSI and the MACD as well. So hope you all enjoy this video and a complete technical update on the Magnificent 7 companies. As always, make sure that you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Links to our Discord, Patreon is going to be down below. There is a 16% annual discount available until the end of this month. And of course, all individual courses, 50% off, coupon code May50. As always, happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video.